Good evening, fellow scholars. My name is Andrew Spurl, and I will be sharing my quantitative presentation slideshow today of our math in our everyday daily lives. As you may not know, math is in our daily lives. It's all around us. It surrounds us. It's everywhere we are. You'd be surprised on how much math we use in our everyday lives. We use it for baking, cooking, destinational traveling, estimations, problem solving, probability and weather, whether it's going to rain, whether it's going to be sunny. Fractions are used for baking and cooking. Without fractions, baking and cooking wouldn't be very good at all. We also use it for time, symmetry, money, standard budgeting, spending money is also a form of math. And also all around us is geometry. Geometry is used for building buildings. Without geometry, the buildings, differential angles, everything around us building-wise will not exist. You'd actually be surprised on how much math is in our local society today. In front of me is a math in everyday daily life slideshow. It shows just a little bit of the math we use in our everyday lives. Now, first problem for problem solving, what we mainly use math for is major purchases, home improvement projects, choosing a college or trade. Surprisingly, yes, math is used for that. It's used for budgeting and how much you can spend for your college, your tuition, your math books. Finding a career, you do use math for finding a career. It's used for showing how much you're going to make yearly, monthly, and you also use that and pull that into your monthly budgeting for your bills. So that helps you find a career, what you're wanting to do for the rest of your life. Also used for standard budgeting. Now, problem solving is one of the major points of math. Without it, we wouldn't be able to budget. We wouldn't be able to do any type of budgeting for our home budgets, such as paying electrical bills, going out doing just standard normal stuff you want to do in your everyday life. Okay, now geometry, as currently showed here, is used for everyday construction. It's used for angles in buildings, roofing, finding the area for a room. Carpenters and construction workers use it for finding the size of a room, how big a room's going to be. It's used for carpeting, tiling, how much wood they're going to need to build a specific house or room. It's also what it also is the study of the shape and size relative to the position of figures with properties of space. House building, to find the floor area, like it shows here on the slideshow, is needed to find area of carpeting, number of tiles. Without it, housing and buildings will not exist. Nothing that we have today. And math is even used for the basic things like time and estimations. You wouldn't believe how much math is used in this. Every morning you wake up, you use your alarm clock, you're using math. Math allows us to tell time. It helps us with our transportation system, with deliveries, times of departure, arrivals for planes and trains and buses. It was also created by the ancient Babylonians and the Romans that came up with the time system to allow us to tell the time between mid-noon, night, and day. It actually helped the farmers with their farming system today, which actually allows them to tell exactly when they're going to plant their crops, when they're going to plant their vegetables. Proper times of seasons are actually a form of time that were actually created by the ancient Babylonians and Romans. And it's a time system we use even today. It's a time system we need to use. Now, what estimation helps us with is our everyday budgeting for bills, grocery shopping, gasoline costs, as well as how much our vehicles are going to take in gas. It also helps us in weighing our produce, as well as goods we buy from our local grocery store. And what it also does, it also helps us with traveling. Traveling as well, our distance that we're going to travel, miles. Now, time is also used for military time. We use it for Roman numerals. We also use it for time zones. Estimations are used for home improvement projects, weighting costs of produce, vacationing, distance traveling, even used for attendance at local events like football games, concerts, rock concerts, yeah. Budgeting, grocery shopping, calories, it's even used for dieting. Calories intake and output is actually a form of math. You're actually using addition and subtracting, but subtracting the additional calorie intake of your diet you're using. And it's also used for gasoline as well. Now this here is just showing just a few basic forms of math we use in our everyday lives. The list is astronomical on how much math we use in our everyday lives. This is just a few of the ones I took. Math is used in bricks, sidewalks, buildings, clothing, decorating, even art. Yes, art. Weight and cost of produce, vacationing, budgeting, attendance at events, grocery shopping, calorie intake, home improvement projects, choosing a college or trade, finding your career, budgeting, weather, unit conversion, as well as street structures. Street structures and sidewalks also use a form of math, which is a pattern grid. The patterns are used for brick layment, sidewalk layment, cement layment. You say it, math is used in it more than likely. Okay, math is also used for baking and budgeting. Like over here on the right of this slideshow, it shows the basic measurements for baking. It's also used for cooking as well. Without the basic kitchen measurements, our food would not taste good at all. It would be horrible. You would not even want to eat it. Without the basic kitchen measurement metric system we have now, we wouldn't be able to bake or cook. You'd be guessing all the time. It'd be horrible. The measurements are used for baking. Below is a budgeting chart with a pie graph, which I'm going to be showing you very soon, which shows a standard budgeting of a normal household. It's from a budget system I used back in high school. And this just shows the standard household monthly budget of how much goes from housing to transportation, from insurance, food, how much you're going to spend on your children, projected monthly income, your actual monthly income, entertainment, yes, entertainment, gifts and donations. Can't forget the pets. Pets are important things. They're part of our lives too, and they're our children. Personal care. Personal care is also part of your personal budget. Over here is a pie graph showing just a little bit of what we do in our normal monthly budgets, and that's from water to facilities, waste removal, maintenance repairs, cable, TV, phone, electricity, mortgage, rent, vehicle payments, buying a house, fuel for our vehicles, maintenance, licensing, groceries, dining out. This is just a basic view of the things we use in our normal day lives for math. So as you can see, math without math, a society as we know it would not exist. Nothing in our life would exist. None of the spectacular buildings you see around you, the art behind me wouldn't exist without math. Baking, cooking wouldn't exist without math. Some of the wondrous gardens and fields we have in our everyday lives would not exist without math. Even money, that's money, would not exist without math. These are just but a few of the normal things we use math for. So when you go to school and you take your math class, yes, do good in math because math is a part of our everyday lives. Thank you all, and you all have a wonderful weekend and have a wonderful evening.